to talk about something that is kinda, I don't know. I mean, honestly, if I tell you how I am thinking about doing this, I probably will come up with some flat out, I am not sure how this would ever be contrived as a good idea, but here I am making a entire post regarding the situation I've been sort of having to watch unfold in front of me. I had just watched Emily Artful's stuff. Honestly, I'm now a really big fan of hers, but I am really shocked and a little dismayed by the actions because it kind of triggered me back to when I had to deal with my issues. And this was back when I had to deal with a very unpleasant individual who actually I did have to do a channel on. I had to do a post on. And honestly, his name was put on public record, and his name is not, I would say it's unpleasant to say the least to deal with this person. And if I were to talk about this, the person in question was an individual that actually spread a bunch of lies about me. In fact, he actually told people I killed my own cat, which, by the way, my cat Kurtz passed away due to neither neglect nor bad behaviors. He was killed by a wild animal, and honestly, my heart just sank when this person lied. And again, this was a person who was supposedly my friend. Okay? I can tell you that person told people that he was my friend. How? Why? Like, I literally told one of my friends, how am I really this person's friend? And of course, I get the comment that I made this stuff up. And I was just kind of flabbergasted, and kind of my first impulse was to tell my mother, and of course my mom's comment is, you're an adult now, you need to learn to deal with this. So I'm dealing with this on my own. And my first deal was to basically, one, shut down some of my social media, which again I was told don't do. That's exactly what this jerk wanted me to do. And my mother was just losing Kurtz at that time absolutely broke me, and I was very I was very depressed, and losing something that I had loved since, well, forever, I felt that it was just alienating. I felt alienated, I felt alone. And people talk about, oh, well, you kind of got what you deserved, and I didn't spread rumors about this guy either. I never spread any rumors, I told the truth. He manipulated a situation, which, FYI, this individual in question, I'm going to mention, if you talk about the fact that the community of anime nerds in the state of Colorado are very, they're not tight-knit in some ways. It's like some of them never left high school, so it's always been a popularity contest to them. So one day, say a person like, say, oh, I don't know. how else I could describe the situation. When my situation got resolved, it was after this individual was actually arrested. Yes, the guy was arrested and he was charged for stalking, menacing, and something else I don't remember. The individual in question, I'm not going to give his name because honestly, I think he knows who he is, and I think he's probably screwed himself over more than he expected. He treated me like, I don't know. For him, I was just somebody he can complain to. I was just that kind of person. And I totally get how people think that I am sort of making stuff up, but honestly, I never did anything wrong. I never, many people said I had the wrong place at the wrong time. The individual in question was using me, and that sucks. Everybody in that community will believe a liar before they'll ever believe the person telling the truth. That is just the way this anime community is. For the most part, I never understood why this happened to me. I never told anyone in I really never did tell anybody about what happened in all the years of being in the nerd fandoms. I never understood it. I never got anywhere with it. And the fandom in itself is so stuck on the flavor of the month. They were so stuck on the flavor of the month animes, they didn't care if somebody got hurt. They literally didn't care. They cared more about their anime, they cared more about their lives, about who they screwed over, who they cared. I mean, my mother just told me, you have to tolerate this shit. You have to tolerate you have to tolerate it, and it's a tolerance of being treated like you're doing everything wrong. That was the one thing that pissed a lot of people off. In the fandom, people get pissed at you for being in wrong things. I mean, I got told, if I just learned to just like what people like, don't have an opinion, I mean, I never understood that one. Never have an opinion, don't ever talk about what you're into. I mean, it was like that way when I was in high school. I mean, I got told I couldn't talk about Star Wars. I couldn't talk about any of that stuff because, oh, do you really want to get made fun of? My concept of myself, my self-worth was pretty terrible. People called it being a person being called a But honestly, I don't know. My entire childhood was met with being told what you could and couldn't say, what you could and couldn't say to somebody. And one of the things in the fandom is you couldn't ridicule anybody. You couldn't tell somebody, hey, you're doing something wrong, because, oh my gosh, you're gonna hurt somebody. That's the entire problem.
In the name of the Emperor!
So, as you can see, when I see what's happening with Creepshow, especially since I think that she's definitely not the victim, and I don't think that she is a person that I could trust with my own. I'm not sure how I can handle that. I've been watching her videos for so long. But my first concept was she is a selfish person. I went through my high school years dealing with selfish people and dealing with people just like this kid. And I mean, I could tell you right off the bat that it's not, you're not the only one that has to deal with it. Emily, you're not the only one. Trust me, I've been there, done that. I've seen a bunch of high school kids tell me I'm supposed to be a freaking, yeah, I'm sorry, I really wish I could say it much nicer. Honestly, in my own videos here, where I'm playing video games, I'm not interested in, I like watching the artwork, okay? I love watching artwork, but honestly, the one problem that I had with Creepshow, and I'm sorry, some of her stories reminded me a lot about high school, and the kind of vengeful crap the high schoolers at my high school did that just turned my life upside down. Back when I was in elementary to high school, I was called, I was made fun of, I was bullied. But my childhood was so bad when it came to dealing with bullies that I had to deal with it on my own. I didn't have anyone to fall back on. My little sister could barely handle half of it. So, as you can tell, seeing our Emily Artful having had all these bad things happen to her, I'm not angry or I'm disappointed, not in her, but in the person in general who did this. I'm an anime nerd, so honestly, this doesn't surprise me with the nerds that I've had to deal with. So, yeah, I'm not entirely surprised.
Can you withstand this? Sad. you withstand this? In the name of the Emperor! There is nowhere to run!
Okay, that failed. So yeah, I'm redoing this, so don't worry. What's going on with the fact that Creepshow Art did something that I'm not gonna use. I don't really want to use her real name, to be quite honest, because her opinions and her attitude towards people relatively sucks. I'm not gonna pretend or persist that I can understand the situation. I don't understand it. Because I've been there. I've had the stalking before. I'm still being stalked by a guy who is upset
in the name of the Emperor!
Of the fact that I am not his girlfriend. And this is a guy who persists on thinking I'm his girlfriend because he is mentally deranged. And in my community, I'm being told I'm being intolerant or I've led him on. By the way, the person in question, I have never led on. He is a very disturbed individual, and in the community, it is alleged that he sexually assaulted a minor. So, until the allegations are actually proven, I can't really say anything on that one. Because many people in the Colorado community deny it and have silenced the person who did the accusation because of the fact that, one, the girl at the time was 16, and of course, the person in general is still was an adult. I literally could not handle him, and I still can't. that there's so many legal issues attached that Shannon may face a lot of problems, and honestly, if creature art continues the way she's going, she's just going to end up with more problems than she is going to divulge any answers. I've been through a similar situation where I actually did end up pressing charges against the individual in question, and he showed up in one of my previous videos and story times where he actually ended up on a channel of being somebody who did something quite underhanded and quite wrong. And people in the Colorado community of nerds are still mad at me because it makes the community look bad. It does make them look like they did something wrong. And by the way, they did. They did do something wrong. It is called slander. They slandered me, they slandered the girl involved, which I believe her name was, her nickname was Pocky. They involved everybody in the community of nerds, and she ended up having to sue the entire, she had to go, she was out of the community. And you believe that they chased a young woman who was,
There is nowhere to run.
Because they didn't want to believe that this person existed. And by the way, if you are in the Colorado and in the Colorado community, do yourself a freaking favor. Don't trust them. Don't trust anyone in your community that does that. Especially if somebody is a freaking known to lie, cheat, and steal with you. I mean, I believed a person for years, and he turned into a total slimeball. And in quite a fashion, I got gaslit a lot. And then, of course, I, being the person that I am, trusted a known jerk. I don't know how to put it any more lightly than what I have to say now. I have been through a lot of crap, and some of it I couldn't go to a court to do. I still can't go to a court with a person named that are part of the group that I'm in, because it is considered hearsay, not because it was something that the person had done. The individual in question, who I still to this day have never, I still to this day can never talk to and ever be friends with, is still persisting that he is not a liar, that he did serve in the military, which he did not. There are people still believing those lies, and they're going to continue to believe the lie, and it's going to hurt them. And so I just disassociated. The other person in question, who had stalked me for so long, started his little reign of terror back in 2007, when he crashed a birthday party. At the time, I was 27 years old. Stupidly, I, being the nice person and naive person that I was, I actually felt bad for him. He was a 14-year-old, and I felt sorry for him. I later learned he liked me. In the wrong context. He was a minor. He was not an adult. He could not make a bright, clear decision on his own. And, of course, people believed he led me on. I led him on. I did not lead anyone on. I did not hit on him. I literally told people I did not do any of those things because that's just not me. So, yeah. It is in my interests, especially my best interest, that this individual who is by the name of Box of Rocks is oftentimes cited as naming me as his girlfriend, and he is later told that I am not any of those things, and he gets upset about it. I have told my ex many times about the situation, and although my ex-boyfriend is a very appreciative guy, he would probably take him to court. My other concern was my husband, or my fiance in general. He soon to be my husband. He and I have this agreement on the issue, and that is that this situation was not our fault. This was never my fault. This was never my intention. And people in the Colorado anime community can say whatever they want about me. I never led this person on. I never gave him a chance. And when I shut him down, it should have ended there. But it didn't. If you have ever had that happen in your own community, it is not an isolated event. It happens. Everybody does it. So, if you're not a prepared person, I am going to mention to you that the Colorado community is not at fault for 90% of it. It is the fault of whoever raised Box of Rocks as parents. So, yes, I will blame his parents for the way he was raised. And that's because they didn't teach him anything. Box of Rocks is, and always has been, mentally the age of 9 in his mental capacities. He has always gotten his way. He has always... And the worst part is what his older brother had told me. When I was 27, his older brother told me never give him a chance. I asked why, and of course the answer I got was because his brother could not handle being rejected. And the fact I rejected him ultimately speaks volumes of what I did wrong. I never did anything wrong, and I never told anybody this. When his brother told me to never let Box of Rocks ask me out, I took it seriously. I said, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Of course, I got reamed by the anime community because they wanted to play the matchmaker, and I wouldn't date a minor. I was an adult. I was in the point of authority, and I would not do that to a kid. My parents raised me better, and I will mention that to this day. I am an adult. I do not, nor will I ever, allow a 14-year-old, particularly a 14-year-old by the name of Box of Rocks, to tell me I'm in the wrong. I am not in the wrong, and I'm not ever gonna be in the wrong. I am a correct person, and I am not a freaking... The one thing that also pissed me off about it is Box of Rocks told one of my friends that I was into a certain form of anime, which I haven't touched in years, and that is called yaoi. I am not into it. I stopped being into it. So if you ever get me to do a discussion on yaoi, you are going to get a huge conversation of me telling you, hell no, back off. So I am going to mention, if you've ever had to deal with anyone who is in that kind of community, I'd say leave. Just walk out of it. You're way too. You would not survive. I've been to so many conventions and so many different dramas that what's happening to Emily Artful is not a surprise to me. I've been through it, and I know how it feels, and I know what she's going through. I have been stalked. I have been told to shut up, to not do anything, to just, this is part of life, blah blah blah. My mother has told me this is part of life, you have to learn to deal with it. And of course I've told people I will not deal with it, I will not follow the orders, I will not do that. And my reasoning has always been, and my mother has pretty much, my belief has always been that people who do this stuff to others will eventually have karma dropped on their fucking head. And excuse the French, yeah, I do believe that I do believe that what may, whoever is doing this is going to have karma dropped on their fucking head, and you're going to hear about it in the worst possible way. So, yeah, if you're gonna have shit dropped on your head, here we go. Holy crap. So, yeah, I'm just gonna say it. If anyone is watching, which I highly doubt, one, Emily Artful is a wonderful artist. I'm just gonna say it now. She is an amazing artist. Please follow her. I'm just gonna say that. She has some of the most creative... See, I have looked at her artwork before, and I have watched her channel on an older YouTube account that no longer exists because of an individual that shall not be named, who stalked me. And I have told people I am no longer going to follow and my commentary on this is the same that it has always been. But yeah, I've been through this. I have been, except the stalking for me was much more physical and much more emotional. Being accused of killing my own cat kind of made me distrust a lot of people. People like one of my friends who told me I was now kind of not irresponsible for myself, but irresponsible for not going to somebody sooner and to actually regarding what I know and what I've seen, I'm just going to tell you flat off that many of the things I've seen and been through in my community of nerds is not exactly the most pleasant, considering that I had to evict my roommate back in 2009, and many of his friends would rather everybody believe a lie than believe the truth, so I just stopped attempting to tell the truth to people about what happened, because in all the things I've been through, people in the Colorado community just... Some of them are nice people, I will give you that. There are some pretty nice gems, and honestly, I think a couple of them deserve videos on their own about how cool they are and how cool it is to work with them at conventions. And I'm just gonna say it. Their work has made me stay in the community for as long as humanly possible. So that's it. Talk to you later. So yeah, I'm gonna go do some mining.